Okay, so as always, a small introduction to Swiss-made software. So actually our core business is giving a label for companies that produce, develop software in Switzerland. We also have a Swiss hosting label, etc. And okay, we stand for Swiss values, but also, and more also for digital sovereignty. And that actually brings me sort of to the topic, because that's an experience. How sovereign do you feel using tech, right? So, yeah. Can you pull the plug, or will someone else pull the plug when you're on the cloud? That's the big question. So, not really sovereign. Where does your data go? Can you control where your data goes? Can you say, no, I don't want this data to go there? Also, this is part of sovereign experience. And the control, right? We hear a lot of attacks, cyber attacks at the moment, so do we really control our infrastructure? Big question. And also this guy here, big brother, the big eye, watching you continuously, what you do, and actually knowing more about you than you know about yourself. And so digital experience is also about digital sovereignty, as I would like to say. In digital sovereignty, needs a strong digital industry, a local digital industry, as we have here, as we have in Switzerland. And that's actually the mission of Swiss-made software. At the moment, we have over 1,200 companies that have the label, that own the label, that display the label on their websites, on their presentations, and there are on our platform over 800 products. You can search Swiss-made products. So we really have a strong industry here in Switzerland, and that's what we want to foster. And this makes us also the largest company network in the Swiss digital industry. And so what do we do? Our strategy, of course, the centerpiece of our offering is our labels, but we do have a platform which you might want to check out, where the products are described and published. We do publications. One publication is coming up, the Swiss Developer Survey. My colleague that you have seen at the entry, Christian, also knows all about it. So if you're interested about the Swiss Developer Survey, please contact him. And we do events as these. And it's about tech and digital experience. So we're about to start. So we really have an intense program. I added a call for content or for presentations. I mean, really 6 good cases showed up, and I thought, let's bring them all. So they have a little less time to speak, but afterwards, in the networking, I would strongly invite all speakers then to go to these tables, and sort of, you can then go and visit each one on these little islands and have then a one-to-one talk on their topics. And so, what do we have? We have Valentin Spies. He's actually with his companion, and he will actually talk about the extended reality in urban spaces. And they also have all these gears. I'm very curious to see how this works. And after that, we have Tiziano Schacht, who's actually talking about the connected world. So it's like about intelligent cooking, a pan. So very interesting to see how that works. And then we have Angie Bourne from Leap, who did some experiments or implementation with ChatGPT. So she will talk about this, her experience. Then we have Tom Buser. He will talk about chatbots as a customer experience using chatbots. Then we have Luke Richner, who is doing a Web3 application, which actually brings real-world assets into the digital. And then at the end, last but not least, we have this Pitwise and Ramon from Audio Greece, and they will talk about how digital sounds can enhance real-world room spaces, and what does that mean, how that feels like, right? And then everybody will come up here on stage, and we will have a opportunity to have a discussion with you, so prepare your questions, prepare your thoughts, your insights, and then afterwards we'll have networking and drinks. So that's the program. So before we start, I would like to have some more personal thoughts from mine to get into the topic. I mean, I was a journalist in the 90s, and still then we talked about the smart or the intelligent refrigerator. And I'm kind of curious to see that, okay, we don't have a fridge here, but we have a cooking pan. So actually it's happening. So stuff that we wrote about like 30, 40 years ago is now happening. And you can go even farther back. I mean, some of you might know that, that's from Tron, right? So these virtual cyberspace realities actually started in the 80s. I remember that I was quite bored in that film back then. So, but now I think it's more exciting, so also this is happening. And last but not least, this guy here. So I was born in 1966, so that was the first bot. That was a chatbot. I mean, then we didn't even have the mouse. So that was actually one vision of how we will communicate with computers, through talking to them, right? 1966, and now it's happening. We have ChatGPT and everything, you know it. So it's quite exciting that we have these long-lasting archetypes we continue to think about, and at some point they actually happen. And so I'm very curious to see and hear what these things are that actually have been developed here in Switzerland, in our region in Basel. And just my last question is, what is actually the digital experience? I think back in the 90s we thought about, okay, digital experience is about going into the cyberspace, going into a new world. The world was sort of discovered, we've seen that, we've done that, we visited every place in the world, so a new frontier, a new continent, right, all to be discovered. But actually I think it has changed. We might as well think about the real world and how digital can actually enhance and make the real world smarter, a better place to live. So with this, I would like to leave you to Valentin and, Andreas for their first pitch. 10 minutes, please show us what you have done or are developing. Please, Valentin and Andreas.